Okay, so welcome to the webinar. Obviously, as you see, it's Standex Care, how to write person-centered care plans. So these are the points we're going to cover today. So we're going to cover the simple things. What is a care plan? We're going to cover the care plan process, person-centered care planning, and what elements make a good and what elements make a bad care plan. These are obviously all in our resource booklet as well that you will receive as well, so you can share it with other members of your team. So first of all, what is a care plan? A care plan is a document or series of documents created by the care home and the service user or advocate to record the service user's plan of care. Excellent care planning is essential to the provision of safe and effective care. This is not an optional extra to be fitted in if circumstances allow. A service user may have short-term care plans, for example, a short illness issue that is expected to resolve itself or improve or heal. And there's also long-term care plans. These are for chronic long-term illness issues that may not resolve themselves or improve or heal. Both types of care plan are created to ensure the service user is supported to enjoy a high quality of life. Care plan documentation, along with any other personal records relating to the service user, these must remain confidential, only to be seen by those who are permitted to see it. You should inform the service user which other professionals will have access to those care plans. The service user has a right to see their own care plans, and obviously LPA for health as well will be able to see the care plans as well, their lasting power of attorney for health. And again, as we said, any other professionals. So one big thing with care planning is obviously mental capacity. Having mental capacity means that the service user is able to make their own decisions, including how they want their care to be delivered. It should always be assumed that the service user has capacity, unless assessed otherwise. And this is something that you need to be made aware of. You should always assume capacity. If assessed as not having capacity to make a decision about their care plan, then whoever has the lasting power of attorney or suitable other decision maker must make decisions about day-to-day care in the service user's best interest. This should be recorded in the care plan. So on each of our care plans, I'll be showing you this. We have a mental capacity assessment. I'm not going to go into the mental capacity assessment. That's another one of our webinars. But I will show you the section where you have the consent and mental capacity assessment. So you can make a consent and mental capacity assessment on there. So another thing, obviously, after your mental capacity assessment, we've got the deprivation of liberty safeguards, DOLS, which is changing to the LPS, which is the Liberty Protection Safeguard in April 2022, as it stands. Our system will automatically update with the LPS regulations. So we will be changing from the DOLS to the LPS, and the system will automatically update. Being a cloud-based system, we can do everything remotely, so you won't actually have to physically do anything. We'll automatically make the change for you. The safeguards are aimed to protect a person's human rights in circumstances where they can't consent to their care or treatment. If you believe that any of the care detailed in the care plans will deprive a service user of their liberty, for example, supervision, even if it's not all the time, or not being able to freely leave the building, and it cannot be done in a less restrictive manner, then you must apply to the local authority for assessment and authorization. So a big thing there is cannot be done in a less restrictive manner. You may be able to discuss it with the service user, or it might be the LPS for the deprivation of liberty safeguard, and the LPS for that individual. You might be able to come up with a plan of doing it in a less restrictive way with the LPA. The care plan process. The care plan process begins with a comprehensive holistic assessment, which is an assessment that looks at the whole person. It covers cognition, so areas such as awareness, recognition, and understanding that they may be compromised in those with dementia. You've got psychological, e.g. mental mental well-being or feelings of anxiety and low mood. You have physical, washing and dressing, toileting, and then you have social preferences, activity, strengths and weaknesses. And last section, you have spiritual and religion, which is spiritual, religion and cultural needs. And of course, you have end of life, e.g. issues to be addressed in health deteriorate, such as preferred place of care and where they wish or do not wish it to happen. So on the Standex Care system, we have all of these areas. So we have the cognitive area, we have the psychological area, we have the physical area, we have the social area, have the spiritual and end of life area. So all of these are looked at when you're filling in the Standex Care system. As part of the care planning process, you should do appropriate evidence-based assessment tools to assess risk for particular areas. For example, Waterlow pressure ulcer assessment, the MUST score, which is a malnutrition universal screening tool, or it may be the Falls assessment. But we have roughly about 15 or 16 assessments that you can use. We have well-being assessments, we have Cornell depression scales, we have the Abbey Pain scale, and these can be added to any of our care plans as appropriate. These should be completed as part of the initial assessment, as they will help you with what actions should be taken depending on score, which can be included in the care plan as supportive content. You should take into account the home's policies too. So really important when you're doing the care plan is you obviously do your assessment tools first, as it says here, and then you should include the information within the care plan. And I'll show you this on our eating and drinking care plan, where we incorporate the MUST screening tool within. So this is something we always get asked, writing in the first person or third person. So writing a care plan in the first person would be, I like to get up at 7 AM. Writing a care plan in the third person would be, Sally likes to get up at 7 AM. For someone that is able to verbalise their preferences, then writing in the first person is appropriate. For someone who cannot verbalise their preferences due to dementia or lack of understanding, for example, it may not be appropriate. You will have to take steps to try and find out what their preferences are. If they're unable to say from their LPA or decision maker, using third person in this instance may be more appropriate, as first person suggests that you are quoting what the person has actually said when they haven't. So just to clarify on that, if they have dementia, I wouldn't use I'd probably use the person's name in the system. And we have a system in place where you can automatically drop the person's name into pre-configured text, which I will show you on the care planning screen in a minute. If they are able to verbalise and they don't have dementia, it may be better for you to say, for you to actually use I, because it's actually their wording. And if they've consented to the care plan, have actually been involved, then that may be more suitable. But obviously take consideration your inspectorate as well, because they seem to have different rules or preferences within areas of the UK. So what we're all looking for is these things to be elements of a good care plan. So these are all the elements of a really good care plan. Service user advocate has full involvement based on holistic needs, identifying needs, goals and support in a person-centered manner. For example, language used is easy for the service user and staff to understand, easily understood by different disciplines, multidisciplinary teams, clear and legible, detailed, accurate and factual, and linked in with other assessments such as Waterlow pressure ulcer assessment, malnutrition universal screening tool, Falls assessments, continence assessments, well-being assessments, etc. And also linked general risk assessments such as choking and slipping, maybe COVID. So a good care plan should link in your mandatory assessments, it should link in the risk assessment, and it should obviously, all this information should go into the care plan. Also, you should focus on ability and is proactive, not inability. used to justify what care is given and why, and evidences that CQC and other inspectorate requirements are being met. So obviously your key lines of inquiry, your claries, etc. They should be signed and dated and timed by both staff, and this is in a paper format, and service user advocate to demonstrate consent for care. So on our system, you have the ability to sign on the screen anyway, if you're using a tablet, or you can use a mouse to sign on the screen. For the carer or the manager who's writing the care plan, you don't have to sign, because obviously you have your login is your basically digital signature, so you don't have to worry about that. So every entry you put in, it's automatically date and time stamped, and your login is your digital signature. This is more for third party and service users to sign. And they should always be evaluated and reviewed periodically to ensure needs are being met and adapted if needs change. So on our system, you can put the reviews of the care plans to different periods. So we usually advise it's 30 days, 31 days, or 28 days. But if you're a learning disabilities or mental health home, you may do the care plan reviews or evaluations 3 monthly, so that you can automatically review it every 3 months. There's a setting that you can change: monthly, 3 monthly, 6 monthly, etc. But please be aware, if something changes a week after you've written a care plan, please update it, and it will automatically then review that care plan in another 30 days. So it basically remembers the last time you reviewed, and then it'll auto review in another 30 days for you automatically. So these are the elements of poor care planning. Service user advocate has no involvement, not based on a holistic needs assessment, not specific in setting out needs, goals and support as required. Service led, and this is based on the needs of the care home rather than the service user. Not understood by the service user or staff, not understood or used by other disciplines. Unclear, illegible, with poor handwriting, obviously, with the obviously if you're using paper, with the digital system you don't have to worry about the poor handwriting. Not enough detail, misleading and non-factual. It doesn't reference any other relevant assessments linked in with the care plan. So these are the things obviously we don't want to see within the care plan. Personal opinions and unsubstantiated information. Sarcasm or humorous abbreviations, LOLs. Focuses solely on disability rather than ability. Doesn't justify why particular care is given. Doesn't evidence that any CQC outcome are being met, and it's not signed and dated and timed by both staff, and that's obviously in paper. And service user advocate to evidence when the care plans were created and consent to care. We don't have to worry about the signed dated on our system, as it automatically does that for you. And lack of evaluation and reviews, meaning the care plan never evolves and is never changed. So obviously they're elements of what we don't want to see within the care plan process. Using the Standex care system, our existing customer, you obviously see that we have the ability of preset text, so you don't have to worry about the quality of the information going in. You do have to change and adapt it so it's person-centered, but it's a good base to start a well thought out care plan. So we've got general hints on care plan writing. You should write a care plan and think, if I didn't know this service user, would I understand exactly what care I had to provide? So that's a really, really good one to keep in the back of your mind. If you didn't know the service user, would I, as a carer, understand exactly what I need to do for that resident? And if I can, by reading the care plan, then that's a pretty good start in place for a good care plan. If I look back at a care plan months later, would I be able to explain and justify what care was planned and given? So on the system, obviously you can review, you can go back and see whichever care plan. You can see the care plan for 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, so you can see it evolve and change, and you can see all your reviews as well. So you can run a report on a particular care plan for a whole year, and it will show you all the reviews and everything. And would I be happy if this was my relative's care plan? If the answer to any of those questions is no, then the plan needs to improve and enhance to ensure that it's fit for purpose. So there's just some general hints on care plan writing. So Standex care plans. A lot of you on the webinar today, you'll be familiar with these. Some people that aren't using our system, please be free to contact us, and we'll be happy to give you a free presentation on the system as well, so you can see all the benefits that our existing customers are getting. The Standex Care system supports staff to write robust and thorough person-centered care plans by having 20 standard areas of care. We have a selection of evidence-based assessment tools, areas for needs, goals and support with preset text to assist that you can adapt and suit the individual service user. In each of the care plans, there are also risk assessment sections. You have the access to the body map, an area to create actions to support the care staff and the planning and evidence the care is being delivered, access to previous care plans, and you also have the consent and medical capacity assessments on each care plan as well. So you don't have to be clicking around trying to find medical capacity assessments, body maps, risk assessments, their actions, reviews. They're all on one page for you, so it's very, very simple. As well as a review section with the date for your next review. The system also alerts you to reviews due. If you have extra care plans you wish to add, you can also add your own. So we do have some clients that actually switch off all our care plans and have their own headings, which is absolutely fine. There's no problems in doing that because they have a specialist service. But for a normal nursing or care home, the 20 areas that we have, they're pretty much what you'll need. But you will switch some off if the need is not required for that service user. So the beauty of the system is obviously you can switch care plans off per service user. So we're now going to go onto the system and I'm going to show you some of these bits and pieces that we're talking about here, like preset text. And we're also going to go through a care plan. We're going to use an eating and drinking one, which is quite relevant to most individuals within the care environment. So we're going to sign in. So obviously that was your sign in screen, which has your name and password, or your username and password. And then you have your screen here, which tells you about if you have any unread messages. So it alerts of any unread messages. Also, you have the ability to switch a care plan read receipt on. So you can enable carers to make sure they're reading all their service users' care plan. And that's a simple setting here in general settings, just so you know, optional functions. We also, let me go down here, and you've got here care plan reading required, okay? And you can put a cycle on this. So every month it will basically ask the carers to read the appropriate care plan. So you can see here are all the care plans that I have to read. And it's a simple case of reading, clicking the care plan open, reading it, scrolling down, and then you click the box, say I've read it, and then you can save it and that will take it off your read receipts. So you can do that the same. I've got one here for Carl Cooper. He's got 16, he's got about 20 care plans here. So me as a carer have to go in and read all these care plans. Once I've read them all, so I can use these accordions and read them all, I can then tick I've read the care plans, and that will take my read receipt off for Carl Cooper. So that's just a quick step of that. You also have a little calendar down here showing appointments, birthdays for the month or day you're on at the moment. And then we have new features. So each month we add new features. So we're just finishing off our roster and time and attendance systems now. So you will be able to add a fully integrated roster and time and attendance system for a small fee to your care plan system. So if you are interested in that, please contact us and we can arrange a demo of that for you. So we're just going to go firstly onto the resident management, and we're going to use Sally Webb. So we have a nice little function here where you can obviously put someone's name in and then it'll go down to that individual's care plan. So here we're going to go into Sally's care plan. And this is the page where you can obviously add all the care plans. Here are all your assessments. So Sally at the moment, she has 4 assessments in place, but there's lots more that she could have in place, like wellbeing assessments, water load tools, moving handling, Abbey pain, mouth care assessment, COVID-19 best interest checklist. So these can all be added, and they can be linked to individual plans of care as well. So Sally, she's only got 5 active care plans. All the others have been deactivated because she doesn't need them. These are her 5 areas of care which she needs. So I'm going to go into the eating and drinking care plan so you can see what we've done for Sally and how we do it. So at the moment, as you'll see with these accordions, this is all read only. You get a little red mark with like a no entry symbol. So that's basically saying I can't change any information on here because I haven't conducted a review. So it stops people mistakenly changing a care plan, because obviously you need to know who changed the care plan. So anything needs changing in the care plan, you will have to go and conduct a review. Okay, so it's read only until you press this button. If I press the conduct a review button, so now it's opened it into, I can now change and edit. So I can update things as well in here. Okay, so the first thing we do when we go into care plan is your assessment. So first of all, we'll go down and we'll check the MUST score. So this is automatically generated for you the last time you did their weight. So if we update her weight on here, so you can look down here and you can see this is the MUST score that she's got. So she's 70 kilos, she's 1.68 meters, BMI is 24.8. Step 2, unplanned weight loss, 5%. And step 3 is a service she is acutely ill, and we can say no on that one. She hasn't been acutely ill. And then you can score without saving. Okay, and that is giving us a medium risk. So for our example here, we're a high risk, so we're going to say yes on there. Score without saving, she's got a 3. Okay, so the good thing is you can obviously, if you think you've made a mistake, you can go back and edit it, and then I can save that assessment, and it saved it. And if I hover over here, it tells me that she's a high risk, and I can view the previous assessment. So if I'm CQC, I can go in and I can view all her past assessments down here. So she was in 21st of October, she was a 0, and I can view this, and it was because she had 0 unplanned weight loss and she wasn't acutely ill. So you can see all your previous assessments on the system as well with that display all button. So if you display all, it'll display them all for you. Okay, so the first thing you do is obviously your assessment. You can add multiple assessments to a particular care plan. So if you want to put a wellbeing assessment tool in as well, it will drop it under here, and then you can add a wellbeing tool. Obviously, I don't need one in this instance. If I want to put a Waterloo in, I could do as well, but that would go on your pressure ulcer risk assessment care plan. So the first thing you do is obviously do your assessment. Next thing you do is you'll go in and you'll write your eating and drinking care plan. Okay, so what you can see here is we've written the care plan already. So it's all been nicely written here. Okay, and we've used a function here which is called basically preset text. So we have this little button here. So I'm going to show you how to use this because you may not be aware, it's quite a new feature. This is to select and add and configure preset text. So what you can do under settings, you will have to have the proper authorization to get this. So I think it will be level 5 and upwards. If we go to reference data management, I'm going to leave this on there. Just go into settings, reference data management, and then you have care plan text. Okay, so on here is a load of settings that you can use. You can create lots of things like consent risks, reasons, risk reasons, preset actions. You can create checklists, multiple resident actions, and then you have the care plan text. This is the one we're looking at today. So the care plan text, what this enables you to do, and we're going to use the eating and drinking. So any care plan you create, you can create your own individual text, okay, that you can drop in. So it's really quick and easy to get care plans written. Okay, to make it even easier, our nurse advisor has actually, on our standard care plan, she's written some text for you, okay? We're not saying we're the font of all knowledge, but what we have done, we've done some simple care plan pre-text. So you've got nutrition and hydration, you've got the need here. And as you can see, under each of these, you can see @ has been put in, the @ sign. So when you put the @ sign, that will actually put their name into the text for you. So it person centers the text. You also have this little red, we've got some red X's here with some brackets around them, commas, speech bubble. So what this is for is when you actually go into your care plan, you should change this reason, but this is the master text. So this is the need, this is the goal. So this is what you're trying to achieve. And then this is the support, okay? So what we've basically done, we've used all the must information on here. So the most up-to-date must information. So if they're high risk, medium risk, and also low risk. So when you go on the care plan, you'll delete what you don't need, but you don't delete it here because this is your master text. And then after that, we then put a load of information / actions which you may or may want to add, or you may want to delete, okay? But I'm going to show you how to do that anyway. So as you can see here, we've got one for nutrition and hydration. We've also done one for diabetes. And we've done one for dysphagia as well. Okay, and we've done also some for risks. So you can also do these for risks as well as care plans. And this is for choking and how to reduce and manage. So cut up the food, puree the diet. If you want to put your own information in, you can either overwrite these, because obviously you can write whatever you like in these, or you just press plus in here and you can start your own label. So it might be slipping, it might be whatever you want to write. It could be must information, whatever it needs to be. So, but to be honest with you, most of the information is here, unless it's a subject that we haven't done. Okay, so we're going to go back up to the top, and I'm going to show you how to use these. So we're going to go to resident management. We're going to go back into Sally. We're in the eating and drinking care plan. So we've done our assessment. We then go down and do our care plan. And this is the box that you can then add the pre-configured text that you've written back end. So if you press this and click hydration needs, it automatically writes the information in for you. Okay, so you don't have to keep writing the same thing for every single service user. If it's like mandatory things that you do or home policy, you can just click the button and it'll automatically write it in the text for you. So this is the person-centered detail. You've then got the goals. So the goals are already in there, but you can see how it imports it, and it also imports the person's name in. And then you've got the person-centered details. So obviously Sally, when we did the must score, she was 3 or 3. She scored a 3, so she's at high risk. So obviously what we've done, we've deleted the information text here for the medium, and if I just put it in, there's the high risk information, you've got the medium and you've got the low. So we've actually deleted all of this because we don't need it. And we just leave the high risk information in, which is above anyway. So here is our care plan. So support required to achieve the desired goals and outcomes. So she's at high risk, it automatically tells you what you need to do regarding agreed goals and interventions, how we're going to treat it, and what we're going to monitor. So we're going to monitor weekly, rescreen using must. You can highlight things in here as well. So make sure she's around and doesn't feel hungry hurried for their food. So you can actually highlight things here. So you can put different text colors. So if you look down here now, put that in red. So you want to highlight something to people, you can do that as well within the care plan. And then you've got your care plan risk profiling. So what you'll then do there is you'll then check your risk assessment. So we've got risk of malnourishment, and it's a high risk for her because she's obviously a must score. And it's a major risk score, so it's a major impact on her, and it's possible because she doesn't eat very well. And it gives you a high risk, it automatically gives you the risk. And then here you can put your interventions in, like we did with the care plan. You can do the triggers. And then down here, you've then got the risk of choking, if not on the soft diets. You've got choking, which is a low risk for her, because obviously we're managing that with how we feed her, etc. So once you've done all of this, I'm just going to go and read the care plan so you can have a look of what kind of things we're looking for a good care plan. So the need is, Sally is at risk of undernourishment and dehydration due to sometimes forgetting to eat and drink. Sally also has difficulty swallowing food, dysphagia, there's a risk of undernourishment and dehydration. Sally's on a soft diet. What are the service user desired goals? All Sally support requirements are to be met in this area so that Sally can remain as independent as possible and to have privacy and dignity maintained at all times. Sally to maintain a healthy weight. Sally to maintain good levels of nutrition and hydration. So this is the need. This is what we're trying to achieve. I won't go through all of these, but this is in the information, and I have printed off the care plans for you as well so you can read it. But it's telling us, Sally and her daughter Lucy, who has the LPA, have had full involvement in the care plan. Sally is at high risk to the must, and with all the must information. And then we have Sally's likes and dislikes about supporting a healthy mouth. Sally's food can be fork, mash, soft diet. A large number of foods are suitable for this diet. Sally may experience constipation on a soft diet. And you've got you've got the foods which are softer bite size and the drinks which need slightly thickened. Okay, so on here is all the information that you need to be able to care for Sally. So how are we going to ensure that all these care plan information are actioned? Obviously, what we do there is we create care plan actions. So as you can see here, we then create care plan actions for your care staff. So under Sally here, we have fluid intake monitoring. So we encourage, that's hours, it might be every 3 hours we're going to put. Let me just save that quickly. Just going to save that action. So we've got fluid intake monitoring. Fluid intake monitoring, and please record all fluids for Sally Webb. And what we're doing, the system's going to alert you every 3 hours to push fluids for Sally. So that's that one. We also have a food chart here. So here is a food chart. As a meal, it's an observation, so it's going to pop up a little nice food chart for you. And you might alert that every 8 hours, 6 hours, or on regular meal times. And we've got weekly weights. So here it'll be every 7 days. We need to weigh Sally. So we go down, save. And that will then obviously give the carer on the carer dashboard for Sally. We'll go on it quickly so I can show you. Carer dashboard, go on to Sally. We'll then have a list of actions. So here you've got fluid intake monitoring. So again, it will flash when it's needed. As you can see, it's needed now. So we can say we've given her 250 mils. It might be slightly thickened drink, for example, and then we can press save. And that will then tell you there's 16.7%. We've put a fluid target in for 1,500 mils a day. So this will keep recording how much you've actually given her each time you give her a drink. Okay, it's 43% now. You've also got the food chart here. So you can say she had breakfast, or you say dinner or tea. She ate half of it, for example, and then you can write what she ate. She might have had, for example, the sandwich, for example. It could be anything. And then here you've got your weigh weekly, because we're weighing her weekly because of the must score. So again, the weekly weight is up. It'll flash at them when it's needed. And she's put on 2 kilos this time. And if you go into the weekly weight, it gives you a nice chart underneath and shows you exactly how to, what weight she's been on and if there's been any negative or downward trend with her weight over the last 2-3 months. So I'm going to go back onto the care plan now just to finalise what we're doing within the care plan. So you've got your assessment. We've written the care plan. We've written our risk assessments. You do have a body map as well. Obviously, this won't be relevant, but you might just want it as reference. You've got the care action here. You can add as many actions in as you like. You've then got the care history, so you can see exactly what's going on with an individual and who's done what. Obviously, this has all been me, and then Lucy's done a care plan review as well. And then we have consent and mental capacity. So here's all our consent and mental capacity. So this is where you can do consent and mental capacity assessment, maybe on day-to-day care. And you can update these and view consent history. You can view the latest consent, or you can create a new consent. And you can see the ones that have been published and the ones that are in history. So you can see when they were last reviewed. So you don't have to write a new review every time. So that's pretty much all of the bits and pieces on the care plan side of things. So go back one. So to summarise, when creating a care plan, think, am I including the service user or advocate? Am I focused on what they can do rather than what they cannot, and their level of ability to engage in activities? Is the support focusing on what they need in order to be as independent as possible? Have I included their preferences, requests, likes and dislikes? Are there any assessment tools that can assist me with levels of risk? And if include, what the actions do they recommend to take? Have I considered the practice and procedures in any policies relating to this area of care? So that's just a little summary of bits and pieces you might want to consider when writing a care plan. So thank you for your involvement in this seminar.